And welcome back. I'm Jo, and you may have watched my previous videos. These vlogs are about my journey through weight loss and my gastric bypass and what life is like after the operation and going on into the future. My last vlog, I was talking about the process I went through with my GP, taking all the stats, losing some weight, and then going on to my referral. And as I said in that video, my starting weight that my GP took was 144 kilograms, which is 22 stone 10. And I worked it out to be 317 and a half pounds. So a considerable starting weight. I was usually in the sort of 24, 26 jeans. I've always been a little bit more bottom heavy. So I was sort of like maybe 26, possibly 28, depending on if it had lycra in and the likes. But my tops were generally a 24-ish. So that was kind of where I started from, and sort of through diet and changing my eating habits, I lost weight and was referred to Aintree, the dietitians and the bariatric department with them. I was referred there back in August, August 2014, my GP referred me there. I had my first appointment with the consultant there in January of the following year, so that would be 2015. And that's when we got the ball rolling, basically, and I was able to discuss my concerns with the consultant there about long-term success of keeping weight off and some of my family history and that kind of thing. And sort of the consultant that I saw at Aintree, who was lovely, if I remember rightly, it was Mr. Thomas. And he basically said, at that point in time, I only qualified for weight loss surgery on the NHS down to my BMI. But I was at I was at the lower end of the qualifying BMI. So although I had other health issues, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I have an underactive thyroid, along with a couple of other issues, none of which were considered major comorbidities for qualifying for weight loss surgery. So I only qualified due to my BMI. Okay, so basically my consultant, Mr. Thomas, he was lovely, but he kind of basically said to me that you're an ideal candidate. You have made changes in your lifestyle, you've made changes in your diet. You are the type of patient I want to work with because you're already showing motivation, and you have got the right, basically, the right mindset for having the operation and it being a success. Because for me, this operation, this bypass, was never about being a certain size, fitting in certain clothes, or a number in my clothes, on the tag on my clothes. It's always been about being healthy long term and trying to avoid some of the health issues that unfortunately my family suffer with. You know, type 2 diabetes. I've got so many family members, both on my mother's side and my father's side, that with type 2 diabetes. And I was worried. I was worried that if I didn't do something, that would be me, and that would be me sooner rather than later. So yeah, it was good to hear that from the consultant, that this decision for me was a good decision to pursue. The predicament I was in, unfortunately, was I was at the lower end of the qualifying BMI. So if I had other health issues, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, you know, other major health implications caused and could be benefited from weight loss, then your BMI can be 35, I believe, at the time that I was referred, and still qualify for surgery. Without those health issues, the qualifying BMI was 40. So I was just a couple of points above 40 at the time of my referral. And basically the consultant had seen that I'd already lost some weight in the process of through my GP and before I'd seen him. So his advice to me was basically to not lose too much weight. Sounds strange, and it's the first time that a doctor has ever mentioned those words to me. But yeah, he could see the potential. He could see my potential, and he could see that how this operation could change my life. So his advice was, yes, continue with the change that I've made. Don't go off the rails. Maintain or lose a little. Because although I was referred at a qualifying BMI, for funding on the NHS in my area, my BMI, I had to qualify when they put in for the funding for the operation, and the funding is only applied for once you have completed a tier 3 program. And for me, that tier 3 program would be a 12-month program. So the consultant basically wanted me to stay within those qualifying criteria during the process of that 12 months on tier 3. So yeah, it was kind of mind-blowing, really, that, you know, that and affirming that I had a very well-educated expert in the field saying that, you know, sort of I could make this a success if I continued down the road that I was going down. And, you know, luckily my husband came with me to that appointment, because up until this point my husband, you know, he's always been slim. You know, he was, I would say, probably underweight when we met. But yeah, you know, he's a slim guy, and never had any weight issues. So he was happy that I was getting healthier. He was happy. My weight has never been an issue to him. He loves me no matter what my size, and I'm very lucky for that. No, that probably came out wrong. Just because you're big doesn't mean that you don't deserve unconditional love, because everybody does. But yes, my husband loves me no matter how big my knickers are or how small they've gotten. But yes, so he was worried. he was worried, as was my GP, about having a major operation as someone being overweight. So being able to come along to my appointment with the consultant really reassured him and kind of opened his eyes to the fact that this wasn't just something I thought up of on a whim that, you know, was the easy way out, or an option that would take away the hassle, or any of the other thoughts that might have gone through his mind or other people's mind. No, this was an opportunity that I could take that would help my health on a long-term basis, so that I could be healthy, not only for me, but for us on a long-term basis. So, you know, it was great to then have him fighting in my corner. He was always my supporter when I was losing weight. You know, he changed his eating habits as I changed mine, and, you know, that was great. And I can't thank him enough for you know, joining me on this adventure and journey. But yeah, it was amazing to hear him be supportive and encouraging after that appointment. You know, it really changed his viewpoint. So yeah, so that was just my first appointment. I had many appointments ahead of me at that point. I was then put onto the Tier 3 programme at Aintree. As I said, it was a 12-month Tier 3 programme. So during that programme, I was to see the consultant, I was to see physiotherapists, I was to see the dietitian, and if it was deemed necessary, then I would have to see psychologists. So that was me signed up in this whole process, and yeah, it was the first big milestone, really, I suppose. And it's not until you kind of look back and see how one meeting with one person can make such a difference. Because yeah, at the time it's you just concentrate on the hurdles or the hoops that you have to jump through, and right, okay, I've done that one, what's the next one? Okay, I've done that one, what's the next one? You know, always going towards the goal. And so yeah, I suppose looking back, one appointment with one person who has faith in you is changing, life changing. So yeah, I'll leave you there. I don't want to make these too long because I don't want to bore you all. And I'll do some more on little bits and pieces along the way. Obviously I'll talk about the Tier 3 process, the one that I went through at Aintree. And yeah, I hope you're all happy and healthy, or getting there. Take care, and I shall see you all soon. Like and subscribe, and comment below with any questions that you might have regarding anything weight loss related, surgery related, anything really. Ask away. Feel free. Speak to you all soon. Take care. Have a lovely day.